Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for another Sims 3 speed video where I am back in the beautiful Sunset Valley and revisiting a lot here. Now in this video I do have quite a bit to say about the lot in general and just, oh my gosh, some updates. So this lot here, let me just start by saying that when I was doing my Creator World videos, I said when I was kind of adjusting this area of the town that I had to resize this lot, and I just to make it kind of fit in with the environment better, and so it meant that the original lot, which is Le Petit Shark swimming pool or something like that, it means I couldn't kind of place that lot here and then do a renovation of it, and that I had plans to turn it into something else and not a swimming pool anyway. And then at some point down the track I kind of just forgot that I'd even decided to do that, and I went and built another swimming pool facility, or like an aquatic center for this lot, and that was never my original plan, so I don't know why I did that. My original plan for this lot was to always build some sort of nightclub or bar or whatever. So here I am revisiting this lot again and building a nightclub. So yeah, it's a bit of a deviation from the original kind of purpose of the lot, but this is what I had envisioned the lot to be anyway. Now, in terms of the footage, you can see I'm speeding through the shell process here because the shell changes quite a bit towards the end of the video. I do scale it back a lot. At the moment, I really do like how the shell came to be before I started moving on to the interior. However, I just felt that it was a little too imposing, and that it also tied into the idea of me being a little bit more modest with my builds, keeping performance in mind. I have said that in some of my more recent videos where I am kind of conscious of the performance of this world and kind of keeping things not to a bare minimum, but just a bit more simple. And yeah, so what I end up doing towards the very end of the video is scaling back the shell a lot more than what it is here. At the moment it's kind of like this multi-story building that kind of, it looks like an apartment building almost. It could be an office building, I don't know. But I do scale it back a ton and just get rid of a lot of the unused space. That was really the only purpose of it, was to add to the visual of the build rather than the actual functionality of it. But for the most part what I'm doing here stays the same, at least on the ground floor, but it's more or less the upper levels that do change, as you would have seen from the kind of the initial shot of the build that I show at the start of this video. So yeah, it was a bit of a journey, this build. And also you'll notice the apartment building in the rear behind this building that I actually built a long time ago, the penthouse lot. So I am in the process of replacing that building, and it wasn't actually until I started replacing that building that I wanted to come and revisit this lot and shrink down the shell a bit, because I thought that the two buildings together, because the apartment building that I've started doing, and I think I might even scale that down a little bit more than what I've kind of initially done. I just felt that they were too they were just too big, and I really want to create a nice kind of reasonably dense urban area in the town center of Sunset Valley, but I don't want it to be just over the top. So yeah, I'm just trying to be a bit more modest in my builds, with my builds. But talking about the nightclub, I am paying or honouring the original lot, which is a swimming pool, by making this a poolside club. and it is called the Empire Splash Club. So it is a nightclub with a swimming pool, and you can see I'm kind of putting the swimming pool together. And the outdoor area. So, I mean, most of the footage that you see, in fact, all of the footage that you see here is pretty much what stays with the build, but you will see me at the very end of the video kind of address the shell. And then you'll see like a half-finished apartment building. Well, no, I wouldn't even say half-finished. I'd say it's probably like maybe 20% done towards the end of the video. But yes, I actually finished the voiceover for this lot yesterday, and when I did the voiceover, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do my the footage showcasing the lot, all the panning shots and the video footage for that, and then it wasn't until I realized, I realized after I'd done all that the voiceover, I forgot to plug in this microphone that I'm speaking in now, and so my voiceover was recorded from my webcam, which sounded absolutely disgusting. And initially I was going to just be like, screw it, I'm just going to use it. I can't be bothered doing the voiceover again, and that was what I was planning to do last night. So this video was actually going to come out last night, but then I thought, I'm just going to sleep on it, and tomorrow I might feel differently, and I do. I'm happy to just redo the voiceover, because also there were a couple of tiny little things that I did after I did the voiceover that I felt like I could just I really just needed to redo the voiceover. One of those things was that in terms of the interactive objects for this lot, what would actually be good for a nightclub. I mean, initially, it's got the it's got dance floor, it's got music, it's got the bubble machine, and then I was thinking, what else could I put on this lot? I had the DJ booth already, but I'm just kind of mindful of the fact that DJ booths don't really function the same way that they do in The Sims 2 and at least The Sims 4. They're not necessarily tied to nightclubs, or I don't think they have the same kind of functionality as nightclubs, as they do in nightclubs in The Sims 2 and The Sims 4, where they kind of act as a music source that Sims can dance to, or they don't summon, they don't create or generate NPCs or anything like that. At least I don't think so anyway. I haven't really had much experience with DJ booths. So, I mean, I had the DJ booth, and then I was thinking, well, what else does this nightclub need? Thinking about how I create nightclubs in The Sims 2, or in The Sims 4, I guess. And I was thinking, well, I need like a woohoo spot because there isn't one. I thought about putting the photo booth in the nightclub, but that's quite a big object, and I didn't really know where to put it. And then, it wasn't until after I'd done the voiceover and then kind of thought about the interactive objects at this lot, I thought, I might just squeeze in a hot tub, because I feel like that's pretty appropriate for a poolside club, is to have a hot tub. So you will see a hot tub in the, what am I trying to say? You will see a hot tub in the panning shots, so the end footage where I'm showing off the lot, the completed lot, but you won't see me place it in this footage here. But as you can tell, so talking a little bit about the lot itself, as you can tell, it's very inspired by Art Deco. I was so excited to do an Art Deco build for once, because I love Art Deco style, and I think that's why I kind of got a bit carried away with the shell, because I was just excited to finally be able to start building in an Art Deco style. And of course I was using a lot of the stuff from the Roaring Heights pack, so particularly these neon light these neon tube light kind of things, and also some of the wall features from Into the Future, which I'm using right here. They are wonderful for creating kind of Art Deco styles and architecture features. I do wish though that with Roaring Heights, I mean, I feel like it came with a decent amount of architectural stuff for, I guess, a world, for a store world. Like it came with, some nice windows, some nice, those curved windows, which are really amazing. I'm so glad that we have those. and a few different like wall features that you can, add to a building to make it look more interesting. But it would be nice to have a little bit more. But to be honest, I mean, I can never have too much, too many architectural pieces, just to kind of add, some more detail to buildings. But yeah, it was a challenging build to put together, just because, I mean, working with creator style, especially creating like, when I'm looking at reference photos, for example, from for like Art Deco, color schemes and room layouts and building designs and that kind of thing, I'm really grateful to have creator style, but it can be very time consuming trying to get the colors and the textures and the patterns to look good and really fit a theme, especially if the object or the pattern wasn't really designed for that theme. So, using some of the base game patterns and themes to be some, to reference Art Deco, but then they weren't really designed for that originally. So really trying to utilize these patterns and stuff takes a lot of time. And so yeah, this lot ended up, I think I ended up having about 10 hours of footage to go through, and it was really challenging, but I'm pleased with the outcome. I do like this building, and I just think it's a really cool nightclub. But yeah, it just takes a really, really long time. I feel like it's much easier in The Sims 2 and The Sims 4. Well, it's not easier, but it's faster. It's more efficient, I think, in The Sims 2 and The Sims 4. More efficient in The Sims 2 because especially with objects, because you have to like subsets. So there's like you can mix and match two kind of color variations of an object, for most objects anyway, whereas in The Sims 4 you only have one swatch, so you really are quite limited in what you can do. In The Sims 3, of course, you have creator style, which is really good and it's really powerful, but it can make the decorating process much more drawn out because it is so flexible. So yeah, just working on the kind of the poolside area here. So I've got the bar in place, I've got the bubble machine, or the bubble blower, not bubble machine, the bubble blower. I'm just decorating the place with a lot of plants. Like, I mean, of course this has like an Art Deco theme to it, but I was thinking as well, like this area of Sunset Valley, like Sunset Valley is quite diverse in terms of its biodiversity, or its biome, do I want to say, where it's very forested up towards the hills, and then as you make your way towards the beach area, it becomes a bit more tropical. And this area of Sunset Valley is more towards the beach, so things do start to become more tropical, and so I wanted this lot to reflect that in a way. So there's lots of like palm trees, it's very kind of beachy. I'm building this like little room here because initially I wanted to have some sort of changing area, where Sims could shower after they've been to the pool or whatever, but I do take it out because it looked really awkward where it was. And yeah, so I mean, it ends up being kind of like this Art Deco kind of jungle theme, which, I don't know, like it just kind of threw itself together. And yeah, I quite like the look of it. And yeah, so it was a bit chaotic, really, this entire build. Well, just in my mind, it felt really chaotic. I just felt like there were just so many things happening with it. I made so many changes, and I did so many things that I wasn't really planning to do with it. So yeah, I think at the start of the footage, I was actually showing myself build a bar where the changing room, like that little changing room building is there, but then I thought that building looked really awkward, so I moved the bar actually into the building itself, which I think looks way better. It does mean that there is a bit of I guess inaccessible space behind the bar, but I was okay with that because I feel like it just looked better. When I say inaccessible space, I mean I used the hidden room marker behind the bar because I didn't really know, because I was pushing the bar so far back into the building, I didn't really know what to do behind the bar, and so I was just like, I'm just going to make that area inaccessible. And here I am building the actual dance floor part of the building. Initially I did put the dance floor outside by the pool, but then I thought, well, you know, in the autumn and the spring it can rain a lot in this world, and it'll be kind of a bummer if you do want to take your sim to a club and you can't because it's raining. So I did end up moving the dance floor section in indoors, and this is where it is here, and you can see I've kind of placed the DJ booth here, even though I'm pretty sure it has no gameplay associated with like the dance floor or anything like that. You don't need a DJ booth to have like a functional nightclub. And this room, like, I was really like didn't know how to fill it out and make it look more interesting, and so in the end I decided to put some pillars in here with some columns, and they've just like really big thick columns, so they do look like pillars, and they just make the dance floor just look much more interesting and dynamic. I don't know, I mean, I feel like it would be pretty fun to have a boogie in this little nightclub room here. And we've got a lot of fan palms as well. Well, I mean, I just took them all away, but I do put some of them back. I'm just kind of figuring out the spacing of them. And then we've got these nice Art Deco wall decorations here, which came with Roaring Heights. And they also look really nice. I really like using those. And I did like a lot of kind of gold accents around the place in that room there. The color scheme for the building itself, like, I mean, I did, like, in my mind, there's two types of Art Deco. There is like the Miami Art Deco, which is very neon and round, you know, like round features. It's colorful, it's, you know, pastel colors, which is what this build is, and what I think a lot of the content from Roaring Heights is. It's very much inspired by Miami type of Art Deco, and I see Miami type of Art Deco around my area where I live as well, even though I don't think it's called Miami Art Deco. It's just when I think of that type of Art Deco, I think of Miami. And then there is also what I envision in my mind as like the New York City Art Deco, where it's very much more I think more rough and sharp looking. It's symmetrical, it's got quite strong patterns, and yeah, very kind of grey and brown, almost like industrial Art Deco, whereas Miami is kind of more like beachy Art Deco. I don't know. And so yeah, I was doing like the kind of had that Miami Art Deco in style in mind, and so the color scheme for this building is quite bright. Well, I mean, I want it to be in the Sunset Valley colors, so like the yellows, the oranges, and the greens and reds, as a lot of the buildings in Sunset Valley seem to be. So I did want this building to have that kind of color scheme as well, and yeah, so I just went with that. And here's the lobby here. I mean, the spiral staircase is the I guess the focal point of the lobby or the foyer of the building. It doesn't go anywhere. You can't use it. Well, I mean, I think you might be able to use it, but I mean, I don't think Sims can come back down. I mean, I don't know. They should be able to come back down it, but I mean, there's nothing on the upper levels anyway. This staircase is purely just for decoration. I do use the usual skip level markers for all the decorative floors upstairs, which are pretty much end up getting converted to like freeze levels. They're not actual proper levels. Now moving on to the bathrooms, and these are very simple bathrooms. Just looking for some more ornate kind of wallpaper here, and some nice tiles and all that kind of cool stuff. But I must say that yeah, I don't think I've ever said that I enjoyed putting a bathroom together. Probably the most boring rooms to furnish and decorate, in my opinion. Like, just bathrooms, I just can't really stand doing them, to be honest. So yeah, just putting in the sinks, and I think I put a mirror in the middle here as well. But I mean, yeah, like the color scheme of the bathroom, I feel like it's goes together quite well, and it does look pretty Art Deco ish. With the sink as well, and then this bathroom here basically gets the exact same treatment. It's pretty much just an exact mirror of the I think this is the men's bathroom here. Yeah, and then we got the ladies' bathroom there. What else do I have to talk about? I feel like there's more in my voiceover. I was able to cover my voiceover that I did yesterday. I was able to cover so much that by the time I had finished the kind of the voiceover portion, I realized that I didn't even talk about the issue that I was having with the Sims 3 store. But anyway, we're at the portion of the video where I am really trimming down the shell of the build. So I'm taking off all those additional levels that kind of had no use, and I'm basically just turning this into a freeze level. One more upper level here, so that this kind of corner window can go on it, this round corner window, and then a level above that gets turned into a couple of different freeze levels, because I think it looks better. And you can see in the background that the apartment building rebuild that I've already kind of started working on there. It does look quite big in the background at the moment, so I think I might take a floor or two off the apartment building, yeah. And yeah, this was purely just because I thought that the original one was a little too imposing, and it was a big use of space that felt a little bit pointless. I'm just thinking to the consignment store lot that I've done in Mirabello Plaza. I mean, that building there, you can see it now, it's like, I think it's like 2 or 3 stories, and only the ground floor is accessible. The reason why I made it so high is because I needed it to cover up, like I said in that video, I needed it to cover up the alleyway that you could see between the bookstore and the theater, because you could just see right, you had this nice kind of row of buildings, and then in between those buildings you could see this like disgusting alleyway, and from the disgusting alleyway of the arcade. And so I was like, I need to cover that up, so the building needs to be reasonably tall, whereas this one there was no reason for it to be so tall. I think I did just get so excited that I was doing an Art Deco build that I made it so tall. But yeah, I've just added a few freeze levels on top here, and I do also change or tone down the red, just deepen it a little bit so it's more of a maroony color rather than an orange color. I feel like that looks better. But I do like the kind of that goldeny yellow plaster kind of wall that it has at the moment. Yeah, I'm just playing around with the colors at the moment. But it more or less keeps the same features that were on the original shell, so it still has the those kind of they're not neon light rod, or they're not the same neon lights that came with Roaring Heights. The ones from Into the Future, it does still have those details on the side of it. So I am using the Sims 3 decorator tools to shift these windows up and down, because when they are placed on top of each other, there is still a bit of a gap between the window and the window portion. So with all the glass windows on it, the square glass windows, and then that kind of window feature above it, there's a portion of gold kind of rock gold kind of plaster wall that I think looked a bit out of place, so I just lowered the upper window so it covered that. And then yeah, this is where I'm revisiting the color scheme and just kind of darkening things a little bit. I did put these fences behind the corner windows to cover up the gap, but I felt like they just looked a bit weird, so I was happy to remove those and then just kind of fill in the floor in the gap and just deal with the gap. I mean, it's up on the ceiling, you're not really going to see it, so I mean, I was okay with it just being exposed like that. And just putting in this little fence here to add a bit more dimension to the upper levels so that they don't look so flat. And of course we have these shelves here which are nicely, you can put them all together to create like a nice, almost like a cornice or a floor edge detail that really does add some dimension to the building. And yeah, so that was a nice feature to do that I did on the original shell and I carried over to this shell, and I'm just recoloring the columns because, well, at the moment they're a bit darker than the maroony kind of color that's on the rest of the building, so I do come back and fix that, lighten them up a little bit. Those columns have the same issue, or have the issue that some other objects in The Sims 3 have, where you place a color on one object and then you move that exact same swatch onto another object and it's a different shade, so you have to kind of play around. Like, technically they're identical, but they look different on two different objects, so you have to adjust the shading on one object so that they actually match. And then of course using the decorator tools to play around with these wall details from Into the Future. They're not currently symmetrical. You can see on one side it's not symmetrical, but I do come and fix that. And then I've added these signs to the building as well. You would have noticed that these are the same signs that I used on the casino, and so I think they actually look better on this building. And so what I'm going to do is go back to the casino and maybe just change the sign that I used on that building, because yeah, I do think that these signs look way better on this building and seem more purposeful for this building than they do on the casino. And then this is the portion where I'm actually revisiting the poolside, where I just thought that, you know, I could have done a little bit more here and it was looking a bit awkward, so I expanded it all the way back, got rid of the alleyway that I made and the parking spaces, and just kind of filled it in with some lounge chairs and some more green spaces as well. Got this nice little platform here. Again, this just adds more visual interest to the actual poolside here. Covering the ground with bark or mulch, I think it's redwood mulch, and putting in some palm trees and some ferns, and of course some rocks. I did see that on The Sims 4. I think The Sims 4's got this new event, and then one of the gifts is rocks, and I was just reading on Reddit, it was like high sodium sinners, and someone like made a Reddit post being like, oh my gosh, The Sims 4 is giving away rocks like as a reward, which sounds really ridiculous, but I mean, whatever. And now I'm just extending out this green space here. On the fence you can see I've got those same kind of neon panel lights, and they surround the entire poolside area. You can see here I've put the lounge chairs all the way, like I've extended them all the way out, but as I was kind of getting ready to do the panning shots for this build, I was thinking about, you know, the interactive objects for this lot, I did take a couple of those lounge chairs out and put in a hot tub instead. So yeah, now there's actually a space for your Sims to woohoo at a nightclub. I don't know why, like, I mean, I feel like The Sims always needs a public woohoo. Like community lots, especially nightclubs, really do need public woohoo spaces. At least when I play, I mean, it's good to have public woohoo spaces, you know, just in case your Sim might have a wish to do that, and so there is an option for them to do so on this lot. Yeah, just adding in these neon lights to the rest of the fence here, trying to ensure that there's some even spacing between them, because I think the symmetry looks quite good here. And then adding some of these shelves to the edge of the building, and then more of these into the future wall details here. And pretty soon we're going to be coming up to the panning shots, and so I will leave you to enjoy those. But yeah, I mean, I do apologize for this build being kind of all over the place. It's, you know, sometimes that just happens. Things don't always go to plan. It's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Oh, here's some outdoor showers as well, because I did get rid of the changing rooms, but I did want to have showers, because if I'm going to put in a pool, then I feel like there needs to be a place for Sims to kind of wash away the chlorinated water. and of course putting in a couple of parking spaces on the street front there. And yeah, here we are at the panning shot. So I'm going to leave you to enjoy these and say thanks so much for watching. As always, it's a pleasure to bring these to you. I hope you enjoyed it. And so yeah, I will say take care, and oh yes, and this lot is available to download. The link is in the description. So yeah, take care, and I will talk to you later.